Hey guys, I've got some great news.
Did you finally get rid of the ghost that lives in your basement?
No, I just piled some stuff in front of the door and I'm hoping that she'll take the hint and we can both stick to our own areas from now on. But the North American Friends Movie Club has a new sponsor.
Fantastic!
I could finally afford to get the kite part for my kite.
Oh no, Brent. Have you been trying to fly a kite without the kite part?
Yeah, I've just been standing outside with a really long piece of string on windy days.
Brent, when you're done reading this ad, you'll be able to afford a kite so big it's dangerous for anyone under 150 pounds to hold it. I've just sent over the new script, so let's record this in a very serious fashion and then we can start the show.
You got it.
Ready when you are.
This episode of the North American Friends Movie Club is brought to you by chicken eggs.
Yolk crystals.
Bird boulders.
Brock rocks.
No matter what you call them, there's only one food on earth that looks and smells like that. Chicken eggs!
Sure. It gets a little tricky if you think about it too hard. Eggs either come out of a chicken's butt or chickens have an extra hole just for eggs. Either way, it's not great.
But if you ignore that part of it, as well as a few other parts, eggs are actually pretty normal.
And you might be thinking, don't snakes eat eggs? Don't our sworn enemies, the snakes, eat eggs? And the answer is yes, they do. But that's okay.
Just
because you eat an egg
doesn't mean you are a snake.
Snakes eat the shells too, and that's the big difference. As long as you don't eat the eggshell, you aren't a snake. You're just a normal egg-eating human.
And if God didn't want us to eat eggs, he would have made them a lot tougher to get into.
Have you ever seen how fragile these things are? If you even look at an egg the wrong way, it will crack open and turn into an omelet.
And eggs are so versatile, you could spend an hour just listing all the different egg foods that exist. Like that scene in Forrest Gump where they list all the ways you can cook shrimp.
You absolutely could do that, Brent, and it would be a fantastic way to kill some time during an ad read with a very strict minimum runtime.
It would be an incredible way to fill time if you ever found yourself in that situation.
I agree with you both. Reading a list of different egg dishes and maybe even throwing in some made-up egg dishes for comedy purpose would be a great way to kill time and pad out an intro that has been losing steam since Brock rocks.
It sure would.
Well, anyway, let's do the tagline so we get our egg money. If you're feeling kind of hungry and you want some good food,
Crack a chicken egg,
my
egg
egg-loving
loving
dude. Great work, guys. Let's start the show. This is what it sounds like when we do a podcast. We're currently doing one. This is the North American Friends Movie Club. And you might notice something about the name of our podcast, and that's Friends comes before Movie Club. So I got to ask my two friends for the new month, how we doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
You know what? I'm doing pretty good too.
Good.
My sleep's been, I've been really bad at sleeping this week.
The last time I talked to you, you had gotten 90 minutes. So
Yes, before our last episode, I barely slept, and then it took me way longer to edit on Wednesday night than I expected. So I was up till 6 or 7 in the morning, slept a little, and then last night I got about 5, solid 5.
you sound a bit chipper. You sound more energetic than the 90-minute Nate.
You know, I'm about 3 times as rested. Still not 100% rested, but 3 times as rested as I was last episode. So, I'm doing pretty good.
And you are continuing your workouts and you shower after those every day.
As we discussed, yeah, I worked out last night. I stayed on the treadmill the entire time while I watched the movie that we're doing today, in fact.
Oh my gosh. That's the way to do it.
Good job.
And I found myself, I was gripping a lot because at the end of the day, at the end of the session, when I let go of the treadmill bars, I was like, oh, I was gripping these things real hard while I was watching this movie.
Because it's all about hand strength.
It's all about gripping. And I was, I was living vicariously through the mountain guys.
Oh, let's not talk about it yet, though.
Yeah, you're right.
How are you, Brent?
I'm pissed off, to be honest with you.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
I'll get to the pissed off thing in a second.
At us? At Nate and I? Or someone else?
No, I love you guys. You guys are like my
Okay.
brother and sister.
I'm the brother.
Yeah. Just a quick update on the zombie game I play that my truck got stolen in. I was going the other day and I got shot in a farm like a fucking mule with diabetes. I was bled out and died.
Oh.
I just died and I was pissed off and I was like, whatever.
Do you not normally die?
Well, I die. You die a lot.
Okay.
But all the progress saves on the server, so you can just respawn in. So on my way back, I run into a human player, and I'm dying because I don't have anything to eat. I do have a chicken on me, but I can't cut off because I don't have a knife.
But you're shot?
No, this is after I got shot. I had to start over again.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to make my way back to the base. So normally we kill each other, but this is kind of early on in the game, so we didn't really kill each other. So he waved to me, and I waved back, and he gave me a knife. And I was like, wow.
Could he see that you needed it?
No. He just dropped a knife and said,
Did you notice his username?
No.
Are you guys going to collaborate?
No, you gotta let me finish this part. Why I won't collaborate with this man.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So I took the knife and I said, that's very nice. So what I did, I didn't really have anything to give him. I gave him a gun I didn't have any bullets for the gun, this type of gun. So I just gave him the gun and he waved and I waved. He picked the gun up and then he immediately had bullets for that gun, put the bullets in the gun and shot me.
Yeah. I thought she's gonna shoot you.
Yeah, it was my own fault. Stupidity, really, when you think about it. I gave the guy a fucking gun.
But he gave you a knife first.
He gave me a knife to cut my chicken up.
Oh.
And I thought he was being nice, so I was being nice. And then he fucking shot me, so he's an asshole. That's karma for him.
That sounds Canadian. You're being too nice.
I was probably, it was an American, probably.
Absolutely was.
Here's why I'm pissed off. Here's what, it's really starting to bother me, and it's been simmering for 3 weeks now. Me and Melissa think that we have a new garbage person because he's not taking the garbage.
So you don't have a garbage person?
No, they show up and they put a sticker on it saying they're not taking it because I broke some kind of fucking garbage law or rule.
What was the law?
That there was material. One was there was recyclable material in the garbage and he wouldn't take it.
Oh, shit. That's very Canadian. Yeah.
So I was like, I don't like that. Just take the fucking garbage, right? So the next week was garbage day and recyclable day. So every 2 weeks is recyclable day. So I put both out. I come home and I got stickers on both of these things. Like 5 bags that he didn't take.
He didn't take either.
I'm going to stare out the window next Thursday while they come. And I'm just going to stare out the window at them and make sure he takes it all.
Mean mugging them. Brent's mean mugging the garbage.
This is the problem. Rats have accessed the sides of the bin. They put holes in it because there's natural drainage there and they just go in and bust the hole. So I called and asked the guy for a new green bin. And he's like, well, we don't just give them away. We come pick them up and see if we can fix them. I'm like, this is not fixable. There's a wheel off it and there's 2 holes in it. It's a rat hotel right now. I'm just having garbage issues. I'm having garbage issues this week. Just take the garbage.
Take Brent's garbage, guys.
If you want me to put compostable things in this big fucking green bin so the sun can beat on it all day and stink, then you can at least give me a new one when the rats break in.
Yeah, that seems fair. That seems fair to me.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm not crazy.
I feel like they should turn it into mesh down there. There should be like a wire mesh that goes around the inside so that the rats can't bite through it.
Or put like a drawing of a snake on the bottom.
Mm.
And it's a real life looking one.
Yeah, you get like the best artist in Nova Scotia City to like do shading and stuff.
Actually, you get plastic snakes and you hot glue them.
That was my next thing. Do you think if I put a realistic rubber snake in the bottom of it, it would keep the rats out?
I mean, I don't think it's going to hurt. They might eat a
Mm.
rubber snake, but might take them a few days to figure it out.
But then if they eat the rubber snake, they got a lot of confidence and they're walking around with their fucking chest stuck out thinking that I could take out.
No, they're going to die if they eat a rubber snake.
No, rats could eat a fucking Oldsmobile and stay alive.
That's a good point. Rats do eat cars.
I just had a memory of my childhood where, do you guys remember, I don't know if this is common enough across the world, but you could buy like a snake that was made of wood.
Yes.
You just hold the tail?
Yeah. I just had a memory of my childhood, like my before drugs time,
BD.
when I would like lie on my back and just like watch the snake go back and forth. Like I got high and was watching the visualizer on Winamp or something like that. Like,
Well, who didn't do that?
Me. I didn't.
I did.
I was into psychedelic shit when I was a kid. That's the point that I'm trying to make. I didn't even know what I was doing, but I was tripping balls watching this snake.
Here's the thing about the three of us. We would never run out of things to talk about. Ever. Because we seamlessly flowed from Rat Hotel to tripping balls and psychedelics within 30 seconds.
How are you doing, Kate?
I'm good. I am doing good. I don't necessarily want to share publicly why I'm feeling so good because it's been some like personal successes. Let's say that.
Okay, some personal successes.
Personal, private successes. So just gives you a little pep in your step when things work out the way that makes life so good and joyful to be in. You know?
Yeah, I like when life's going good instead of going bad. Personally, that's just my hot take. Is
Yeah.
Why can't all three of us be going good at the same time, though?
Well, because we're human.
I'm fucking hip deep in garbage issues and Kate's having personal successes.
content-wise, we'd only have 5 minutes if we all hopped on and said, "How's things going?" Great, going great. How about you? Yeah, really fantastic.
I could still find shit to complain about. I mean, is that part of this? I can.
No,
surely.
I'm just.
I bought some. Hold on. I bought some. Jules and I, as I said before, went to Dollar Tree. I bought some spring decor, and guess what? One of my dollars spent broke, so that's a bummer.
Bummer.
I bought some cute little carrots, garland. Carrot. I know it sounds stupid, but it's super cute, and it broke in 2 days when I hung it up. So
What is going on there with the gnomes? Carrot garland? Who is this person?
I decided as an adult having a child that I was going to decorate for every holiday. And I also enjoy changing my house around. It brings me joy and I have fun doing it. So I decorate for every season of the year. And so it's spring right now.
Borderline Kate and North American Friends Movie Club Kate are completely different people.
I am in the same case.
You've grown.
But I am mature. I've matured.
I personally find this charming. The redecoration, I find it charming. So I'm a big supporter of this. I also like going to the dollar store and pretending you're rich. Just being like,
Yes.
like I'm not even looking at the price tag here. I just throw it in the cart. Like,
Yes.
money's no object here.
Oh. It feels so good. It's consumerism. And you can get super cute seasonal decor at the Dollar Tree. I'm serious. I mean, it's not going to last long.
I know this is true because we do it for the old liquor store. You know, we're decorating for St. Patrick's Day. You know, we're decorating for Easter and Christmas. So I was dollar store Christmas decorations. I was all about that.
Hell yeah.
Now we're very fancy, so we don't do that.
Got a different vibe going.
Yeah, different vibe, but
You got to get classy. You got to get something that costs like $100 if you're going to decorate.
or just like I have to like burn a carrot into a piece of wood instead of
Exactly. Exactly.
A carrot brand. It's like that tweet about the woman who went to the Halloween party as the Babadook thinking it was. That's what
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, that meme is so good.
Yeah, that face.
Speaking of the Babadook, why don't we let everyone know what movie we watched this week? It's a new month. It's documentary mockumentary month. We're taking a look from behind the camera lens, stepping out to some real life stuff. And it was my pick the first week, and I picked the movie The Dawn Wall. So, Catherine,
Yes.
let the folks know what happens in The Dawn Wall.
Okay. So this movie is basically about Tommy Caldwell, who was born a small, weak boy and did not learn to crawl until he was 2 years old. And his father was a bodybuilder hot dude. And then, so his dad was also a rock climber, and he would take Tommy out to climb rocks as soon as he was very young. And so then Tommy just really gravitated towards climbing because that's what his dad did. And then when he was 16, he won a professional competition just walking on. And that kind of catapulted him into doing it for a career. And he ended up meeting a woman he fell in love with, who ended up being his wife, and 2 other dudes. And they decided to climb, because they were like hotshot climbers, this mountain range where in Kyrgyzstan. And then they were kidnapped. And then Tommy ended up killing the guy, the last of the captors, and they were saved. And so then move forward, he and that woman he was with ended up getting divorced, and it was a very tragic, very challenging time for him. So he put all of his energy into climbing the Dawn Wall. And then the rest of the documentary is about him and his buddy Kevin over the course of, at first it takes years. It takes them several years in order to figure out how to even do it, because it's like literally just rock. And then they do it in 19 days. And Kevin has a really hard time. And at one point, we don't think Kevin's going to be able to do it. But then they both do it, and it ends. And it's a great documentary. And I'm so glad that Brent suggested it. The end.
Well done, Kate. Well done. I think there's two things that we missed that we'll cover when we discuss our favorite parts. So why don't we go ahead and do that right now? I want to start by saying I agree with you, Kate. Let's just get this on the record early. This was a great movie. This was a no pun intended, a gripping film. The one part that's very important that blew my fucking mind.
Oh, he lost his finger.
He chopped his own finger off.
I have to interrupt right now, because I watched this movie twice before I watched it the third time.
Yeah.
So I saw this twice before I recommended it.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that you guys were going to like this movie because it's just so crazy how these things happen to him. So the third time I'm watching this last night, and the part where he cuts his finger off, and I type in my notes here in all capital letters, I forgot about him fucking cutting his finger off.
Yeah. Because so much happens.
It's a major, it's crazy.
He's Batman.
You could do a whole movie just starting at the finger. Do you know what I mean? Like the walk-on win, the Kyrgyzstan trip. That you don't even need that. You could have a whole movie that starts. There was a rock climber who's good at rock climbing. He chopped his finger off and he had to come back from it. And you'd be like, okay, sure, that's a good movie.
Take it one step further. You could do this whole movie without the finger story. They did this.
Oh, easily.
Like these two are the only two people in the world to do this. Not to mention, he did it after he's chopped his own finger off.
Yep.
He's literally Batman. He's the most impressive person I've ever seen in my life. And nobody knows about him at all.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'd never heard of this movie. And usually I at least, even if I don't see a movie, I usually have some frame of reference when you said the name, didn't ring a bell, looked at the poster, didn't read a bell, and never would have watched it. Never would have been like, that's something that I'm interested in checking out. Especially because there is another rock climbing movie about this guy who does, like, I can't remember what his name is, but he does like insane free climbing, like no ropes.
Free solo?
Yes, free solo.
Yeah. That's his buddy. He's in this one.
Oh, is he? Does he? Oh, wait. I think you're right. He does show up for like one moment.
Yeah.
Uh,
Like he's on video maybe.
and I hate that guy. I don't like him. I don't respect him because there's something about it that's just like, it would be like if you had a friend who always stuck his hand inside a crocodile's mouth and then pulled it out real quick.
Yeah.
You're like, after a while, you're like, well, the crocodile's going to bite your fucking hand off, man. Like you got to stop.
Did you see that documentary, Free Solo?
I think I watched it, or I at least watched a smaller documentary about him.
Yeah, because that's part of it. Because the documentary crew in that film, like, it's a part of it because they were like, we are planning on seeing you die.
Yeah.
Like, and they like grapple with that. And that's, yeah. Anyway.
So that would have turned me off for this movie.
Yeah.
But Tommy is so different and so interesting, and he's like a monk or something. Like, even when he was talking about his ex-wife, he had like somehow he had like some understanding of the universe that allowed him to be more cool with it than I was.
I don't think that I think we're just seeing him say that for 10 seconds of his life. I doubt that he was so chill about his wife having an affair and leaving him.
Listen, this guy's amazing. All the things he did. He threw a terrorist captor off a mountain when he was just a kid. But I think to do what he did, just to be obsessed with climbing, to do this, you're kind of fucked up in the head to do that.
For sure. You've got some kind of mania.
Yeah, like, God, if this ever got out to him and he ever listened to this episode, I respect you more than most people, Tommy. I think you're cool, but you're a little fucked up.
Yeah, I think he knows. Yeah.
You dedicated your life to a fucking mountain, and that's how you coped with your wife cheating on you. But you also did a documentary about it with your current wife. It got weird. It got weird to me, but that's fine. In the end, I think he upgraded.
I agree.
It's just one of the more impressive things that he did in his life. He's done a lot of impressive things.
That's oh my God.
What?
I can't with
Yes?
that.
What?
That's not the most impressive thing he's done.
he climbed El Capitan, and we're like, yeah, buddy, look at his old new wife, though, right?
It's one of the impressive things.
He climbed down. And then he does these jumps. Did you see Kevin do that jump? That's what I thought was the most fucking awesome part of this documentary. Is so Kevin couldn't go across the 15, where he has to go horizontally.
Pitch 15, yeah.
Pitch 15. And then the next one, so he finally gets across it. And then so Tommy does this like one where he goes down and around, does a loop to get across instead of having to jump it. And fucking Kevin jumps it like it's no big fucking deal after he thought he was going to have to quit because he was holding Tommy back. It was just it was like watching Rocky. It was like, hell yeah.
I was fired up when he made that jump.
Oh,
fired up.
The first time I watched it, I'm like, Kevin, I feel terrible for him. He's not going to make it. And then all of a sudden, Tommy gets to Wino Tower and is like, wait, not doing it without my bud. I'm like, this movie is fucking amazing.
Tommy has a heart for sure. I mean, for him to be that kind of partner with Kevin, it's such a beautiful, kind of meditation on partnership. Like they should show this in leadership courses.
I feel like we're talking about this movie, and a lot of people, majority of people that listen to this have never seen it, as like Nate said, or heard of this movie. I think we have to just say, you have to go watch this movie.
Yeah, I would recommend anybody watch this movie because of the human story. Like, it would be interesting for like a 20-minute YouTube documentary about climbing the thing. I would watch it. That would be fine. But the human drama of this story is so good, so compelling. Because even at that part when it seems like Tommy's not going to make it, and you kind of adjust in your mind, you're like, okay, well, when it seems like Kevin's not going to make it, you adjust in your mind and you're like, okay, well, seems like Tommy's going to do it, and we'll probably end this movie with him making it up and it being kind of bittersweet. And then he gets to that one plateau and he's like, I got up there and I just couldn't imagine finishing this mountain without Kevin. I'm like, that's a bro. That's some Frodo and Sam shit, dude. Like, yeah, go back down.
That's a man. That's a man.
That's like us doing this podcast and Kate getting sick halfway through and say, I have to go. And you guys just finished talking about fucking Little Women movie
Yeah.
without me. And then and we're like, we start. So me and Nate are like, you want to give this a rating? And I'm like, no, Nate, we don't want to give it a rating. We're not finishing this movie and this podcast without our brother Kate.
Yeah. We fly to St. Louis.
Yeah, I'll belay her, and then we belay her, and she's next thing you know, she's on Wino Tower with us, and we finish talking about Little Women together.
Nice.
Exactly. The first time this man had sex was on the side of a mountain.
Isn't that crazy?
I mean, this guy is nuts. Like,
No
literally-
wonder. Is that Brent? What a great point. Is that why? And he lost his virginity to his wife.
Mhm,
Or
mhm.
that's what it sounds
Oh,
like.
for sure. Do you see that
So
little nerd?
Yeah, he was
Exactly. And then he goes back to a mountain after he gets divorced. Like this is what Nick and I always say about psychology. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. Like people make the same. Like you can see anyway.
Mhm.
That's crazy. I didn't make that connection.
He's always trying to have sex with the mountain.
Deep.
You would think that his little wiener would be scratched by
Listen, we don't know how big this thing is.
I mean, climbing up rock, you're going to get your wiener scratched, I would think.
We have to stop calling it a wiener.
No, keep calling it a wiener, and I agree. That wiener is scraped for sure.
Oh, I would use it to my advantage. I would stick it into crevices and cracks. Anything for
Brent always has to have an erection to save his life.
He's like, we're not going to make it across. Just 1 second. Let me think of.
I'm thinking about that one time I had sex on the side of a mountain just so I can get like an extra grip on the mountain. Yeah.
Oh my God.
You got to use everything to your advantage. You got half a finger, might as well put half a fucking dick in there.
That imagery is hilarious.
It'd be so funny if that's part of the instructions. Like left foot here, penis here, left foot up, penis down.
They are climbing flat rock straight up in there. Any little advantage against you and Mother Nature, you got to text.
What if your penis could grip? Why don't penises curl? They should evolve to curl, and then there could be some gripping.
We do enough fucked up things with the current state of our penises. If we can start using it as a tail and gripping things, listen, you don't want that.
If anyone could do it, it'd be Tommy.
Oh, Tommy
Yeah.
Caldwell, dude. Yeah, he'll be practicing at his barn and his house. That's another thing I didn't like about him. This is why I think he's a little fucked up. He wanted to practice that move that Kevin was doing. You said, Kate, the jump?
Yeah.
And he said, I set up this thing on my barn.
I know, it's so stupid.
If you're gonna like do it, at least do it high in the air.
No, that was the when I saw that I was like, he's not crazy, because he like it literally in my head I was like, oh no, he's crazy, but he's not crazy enough. He's still, there's science behind this. He's still a thinking man. He's wise. He put it close to the ground for practice.
Because that's also what I liked about this film is that they explain rock climbing so that we can understand how challenging it is, and that it is like the way Kevin was talking to him about going across the 15 and like his feet and then they do that short vignette where I think it's Tommy or Kevin talking about how your hand goes here and then it goes down and then it goes back up after your foot goes here and then this, how little and how like choreographed all of that is insane. It's fascinating.
Much like the nuclear reactor, it's a seductive and detailed dance.
It definitely is.
Delicate.
It definitely
You don't
is.
want to fall off.
Seductive and delicate for more than anything.
We would not conquer the first pitch. I think we can all agree on that.
Hell no.
It's too much. Like these guys are robots, I feel. And what how do you go about your life where you just say, fuck it, I'm gonna live off the side of a mountain for 3 weeks? What do they do for income?
Tommy's sponsored.
He has
Tommy
to.
is sponsored. Yeah.
And Kevin must be too.
By who?
Black Diamond is one of them Because you see Black Diamond everywhere, like on his bag, and
Well, how do I do this? But why are we not sponsored by Black Diamond?
get really good at something.
We are really good at something.
You got to get up over 10 feet before they give you a sponsorship.
You gotta start bouldering.
Could you imagine that's like your life? Like, I'm just gonna go and scout out a mountain for fucking 6 months.
Or like even in the off season, I'm just going to hang off the side of my barn and jump from one thing to the other for 6 months. Like,
And yeah, what a patient wife he has. Could you imagine if Melissa pulled up and I'm jumping side to side off the barn?
No, because your arm would fall off or something.
Could you imagine, Kate, you're just trying to like go to sleep at night and Nick is fucking counting his carabiners and there's 1,000 of them and the clanking of the metal
clink, clink, clink.
and you just want to sleep and he's like, no, babe, El Cap, it's important to me.
No, I would never. No, that kind of man is probably not interested in the kind of life I'm wanting to live.
Oh, Miss fucking fancy float down the river with a mimosa. Yeah,
Yeah,
of course not.
He's not getting appies.
The only thing you're climbing is fucking over to the cooler to grab another one. No.
No, I am an active person.
All right, pickleball, slow down.
What's wrong with pickleball?
Nothing.
Don't disrespect pickleball. I go on hikes. I ride my bike.
You can't say you're anything like Tommy Caldwell right now. This guy's a fucking.
No, of course not. No, no, absolutely. I do think I do think that he is an attractive person
No.
because of I was thinking about this, that I wanted to talk about this, that like there is nothing sexier than athleticism,
Sure.
right? Like you could look like Tommy Caldwell
Mhm.
and you're a very sexy man. Like Kevin's got a face, right? And he's a very I'm not into these men. These men are out in the world and I'm not giving them a second look. And then I watch this documentary and I'll have your babies. Like I get it. That's part of it.
Listen, we love bravery. We love expertise. We love flexibility and strength. These men,
Yeah.
they embody all these characteristics.
They've got it all. They're fertile as fuck.
We got to get these guys on the podcast.
We got to get a call out to the side of some rock somewhere where they're fucking hanging, pooping off the side of a thing.
Oh my God, that was hilarious. I just let it go.
Would you? Yeah, I was thinking.
Hell yeah.
I was genuinely surprised how respectful they were. I'm like, oh, they keep the pee. I would be letting that pee fly. But they came down with a bottle full of pee. Like, that's very respectful of them.
That is very respectful.
The image of a bunch of people in the meadow using telescopes to look at Kate taking his shit off the side of a mountain is great to me. That's good. That's good.
See my brain.
I had a question as parents. That part where Tommy and his dad go to watch the climbing competition, and Tommy just enters the open public competition and crushes everybody so bad that they invite him to participate the next day at the professional climbing tournament. And then he wins the professional climbing tournament, dunks on all the professional climbers. As a parent, how do you guys think you would be feeling if you saw your children accomplish something like that?
I would feel like what I imagine it would feel like to grow a penis and have a boner. Like that is what it would feel like.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine how my soul would leave my body. Like it's like you're doing it. You know what I mean? But better because you don't have to do any of the work.
Yeah.
Like,
well, what I was interested was like his dad was such a hot dog in the sense that like his dad was this mountain climber. He used to take Tommy, like ever since Tommy was like 5 years old, out to the mountain, put him through all the tough times. But he didn't seem cruel in any way. It seemed more like he really was a good person and a kind and supportive guy who just wanted to teach his son some perseverance, but not by being cruel. But a guy like that who's like, you saw those pictures of him when he was a young dad, like he was the cock of the walk.
For sure.
I was very surprised to see how like easy it was for him to just transfer that to Tommy. Because I would think that would have been harder for a guy like that who was the shit and everybody looked up to him. And then all of a sudden you have your 17, 18, 19-year-old kid and he's like on the cover of all these magazines. he was so cool about it and so supportive and so awesome. Like, I was like, this is an interesting family and an interesting guy.
I think that is just like shows that Tommy Caldwell's dad is not a narcissist, and like we can all have nice things. The table is as big as we want it to be, and that is awesome parenting. And also, they probably don't talk a lot, right? Like
No.
he was like there's a picture they showed of Tommy at age 3 going across 2 high up rocks on a rope, like
Mhm.
things that I can't imagine. And then that's why he's not afraid. I am the thing that bothers me about this movie is I am scared of heights. And this is impossible for me. I could never do that. I can't even hardly get on a ladder to the top.
I just want to let you guys know that I just messaged Mr. Kevin Jorgeson on Twitter and told him we want to have him on. It's out there. Let the world do what I think that'd be great to have Kevin on. We could ask him. I want to ask a lot of questions about what it's like to be on the side of the porta potty or the porta ledge, and like, did they really have to use razor blades and stuff? I didn't think that was just for show.
I want to ask him if he can show me how far his hands can get away from each other with the shirt off.
That's such a strange way to say it.
Like if he could take his shirt off and show
How
me.
far can your hands get away from each other? make those doggies run.
I'm sorry.
How did we feel about Tommy sticking the nub in jars full of stuff?
Smart.
It seems to me like he's some kind of like he's in touch with a higher force to know that he needed to do that.
Oh, this gave me some ideas to start doing that.
With your foot?
Yeah, sticking my foot in buckets of stuff.
Yeah.
Scorpions, broken glass, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I like how they put shots of everything. They didn't just tell you, like, oh, he had a jar of sand. It's like, no, here's a shot of him sticking his nub in some sand and sticking his nub in some gravel.
And beans.
And beans.
Listen, now it makes sense why the ex-wife is leaving, because she's just trying to have a normal day, and she walks in the kitchen and he's sticking his fucking nub in lentils and shit. She's like, I was gonna make those for dinner, but okay. I'm glad that you can climb again. I just wish I was passionate and good at something. Like, could you be a prodigy at something?
Or even just like good.
No, we're good at stuff. I want to be like on the covers of magazines and stuff.
Yeah, I can't imagine what that would be like.
But I could never do this because it's way too much gear. All the ropes. Could you imagine being frustrated? Picture it being Kevin, and you can't make that fucking move that Tommy did. And Tommy's fucking goofy ass is halfway up the mountain, and you're stuck there, and everyone's watching you. You got to shit it in a bag.
Pooping in a sack.
Yeah. And I love how we both said the same time. And you got to cut things off your fingers, and everyone wants you to do good. And Tommy's making a bullshit meal on his little burner, and you're frustrated, and all of a sudden your rope gets tied into a knot. Could you imagine how frustrating that would be? Too much gear. Way too much gear.
When they were about to start the first ascent, when Kevin becomes his partner, and Kevin's got like 70 hooks on that belt at the very start of the thing, is like, this guy's got every hook on earth here.
Yeah, like this, what the fuck's he hooking into? And this is a personal issue, and I can never seem to fix it. 41 years of life, I always assume Yosemite is in North or South Dakota.
Is it California?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I lived in California, I got to go there because it was a couple hours away. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I didn't know I lived in California.
Record scratch?
Yes, you guys did. I lived there for 6 months with my sister. I was a nanny for my oldest niece.
No.
Jennifer. I lived with Jennifer.
You can keep saying it, but we're going to keep on saying no because we don't know.
Because we would have been calling you California Kate. We would have called you Mama Cass. Like, yeah.
I was just going to say Mama Cass.
Mama Cass. Rude.
Oh, that's good. God, neck.
So I've been there and I've seen El Capitan and it is beautiful. Yosemite looks fake. Like it looks like you're in virtual reality. It's so beautiful. It's hard to describe.
Could you imagine being at a party though and being next to one of these guys saying, "Yeah, we plan on doing the Dawn Wall at El Capitan." Like, okay, I'm not going anywhere near these guys.
that brings up two things that I would like to say. One, it's so fun. The one thing I got to hand to these mountain climbers is that they love little names.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They're like, you go up the Dawn Wall and then you take the Chillicoot Pass and you hook over to Shrimp Cocktail Turn, and then like that's pretty fun.
It is one of my favorite things about mountain climbing is that they have all these names for. It's like golf courses name their holes.
Yeah.
These people name their little trails, and I think that's really cool.
Like, oh, he got past Teapot Junction. Oh my goodness, no one's ever done Teapot Junction.
No, there's no way he's going to do duct tape. He did duct tape?
He did duct tape? And then I love how this movie has a character. I've been trying to search. It's really hard to find the names of the people in this movie, but he was like the old climber. Yep. You could just tell he had those arms where he's like, oh, this guy's done some climbing. But he plays this amazing role in the movie where at every point in Tommy's journey, he goes, and then when I heard he cut his finger off, I said, well, that kid's done. Never going to climb again a day in his life. And then something happens. It cuts back to him. He's like, and he did it, man. We were all looking at each other like he really did it. And it happens like 8 times in the movie. I'm like, it's so nice they got this guy to be like the voice of the audience, being like, no way. He's not going to do that.
He did him the whole movie. Like, it would have been funny if the mother at the very start saying, well, when Tommy was 2, his teacher said that he's slowly not developing right, and then it cuts to the old guy's like, well, there goes his climbing career.
We were all saying to ourselves, this kid ain't never getting out of elementary school.
He ain't going to be able to do it. We saw him on the jungle gym, and he's not going to be able to do it. He couldn't get past River Pass on the jungle gym. He's not going to do it. My last note is at the very end, it talked about, and this is what made me laugh. They should have a Dawn Wall part 2. You see the part at the end where the guy that Tommy threw off the side of the mountain actually survived?
No.
Yeah, the guy, the captor. I saw this movie 3 times, and it's the first time that I've saw this part 2, Kate. The guy that Tommy threw off in Kyrgyzstan, the terrorist that bounced off the rock, actually survived and ended up going to jail. So Dawn Wall 2 should be about Tommy and Kevin going back to Kyrgyzstan and finishing off.
Finish the job.
Or they murder him?
Yeah, murder the terrorist.
Yeah, murder him.
This is what Dawn Wall 2 should be about. On that note, speaking of climbing up, would you guys like to climb up 8 questions of the Dawn Wall?
8 questions. Let's do it.
Absolutely.
4, 5, 6. Wait a second. Let me count. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. No, 7. Wait a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
When 7. I watched Brent count, and I said to myself, this guy's never going to finish counting.
He never got past Optimus Prime? What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7. That is very hilarious to me that the old guy doubting him every time.
Yeah.
His wife left him. Well, he ain't going to climb again.
Nobody comes back from divorce in this game.
That's fucking good stuff. All right. Hooking into your carabiner there. Get ready to belay each other on this fucking wall. 7 questions based on my brain from the movie The Dawn Wall. Are we ready for question 1?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
We talked about Tommy's dad being a cool guy, and it started the movie. It showed Tommy's dad holding the baby Tommy in his arms. Baby Tommy had a little sports jersey on. What was the number on the sports jersey?
I don't even know the team.
It wasn't a team. I'll even give you a hint. It was just a generic fucking
just sports
smoky brown shirts. Yeah, like it looked like a white t-shirt that people smoked around. The numbers you get to pick are 10, 11, 13, and 14. Baby Tommy, what number did he wear?
Who goes first?
Last week was Kate, so this week is Nate.
I'm going to say 11.
Okay.
I'm going to say 11 as well.
Little baby Tommy in that smoky brown jersey wore number 11. Good job, guys.
We just knew aesthetically that was the best number combination.
You guys now are officially past pitch 1. Good job.
Ooh. Oh.
Yeah, you guys made a little higher up the mountain. So we talked about how Tommy went to Kyrgyzstan for some reason. I still don't know really why. To do a climbing thing, I guess. And he got abducted in Kyrgyzstan with his girlfriend at the time. Kyrgyzstan is above what country?
Carmen Sandiego.
You know, I'm always good for a fucking, if we're anywhere near Central Asia, you're getting a geography question.
Is it north of? What country is it north of?
It's Kyrgyzstan is above what country?
Okay.
And your options are Uzbekistan, Afghanistan, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan.
I'm going to say Uzbekistan.
Okay.
I was tempted by that. I'm going to say Kazakhstan.
You are gone forever. Brent's correct. It's above Tajikistan.
Gone forever.
Tajikistan.
I said Tajikistan 3 different ways, that question.
That's okay.
That's fine.
We knew what you meant.
Yeah, perfect. During their warm-up, they're mapping out the path to climb out on the Dawn Wall. It shows them practicing. And Kevin's first fall was on pitch number 3. What pitch did Tommy first fall on? So did he fall on 3 like Kevin? Did he fall on pitch number 5? Did he fall on pitch number 7? Or did he fall on pitch number 9?
That's hard. I'm going to guess 7.
Okay.
I'm also going to guess 7.
Kevin Jorgeson fell on pitch number 3, while Tommy fell on pitch number 7. Congratulations, Kate and Nate. That's 1 point each. It's now 2-1. 2-2-1, I should say. El Capitan has claimed the lives of how many people? 21, 11, 31, or 41.
Is this from the movie or is this a current?
This is a current running total.
I'm going to say 41.
I'm going to say 21.
Much like these people, they are gone forever. 31.
Gone forever.
I was going to say that. God damn it. Because before you finished, I thought in my head 36 before you even gave the options. And then I rounded up, but I should have stayed with 30.
Should have trusted your instincts.
I was kind of in a hurry when I Googled it, and it said 31, and then in brackets it said 23, of which were climbers. And I just forgot to go back and read how the other 8 people died.
Yeah, what was going on?
Let me have a look over here. Yeah, those kind of things.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so 8 people have died that didn't climb the mountain, but that's kind of
Bear attack.
Yeah. We talked about the pitch, the dyno, which was Kevin Jorgeson jumping. That the dyno was the hard one. What was the difficulty rating of the dyno pitch?
Oh.
Was it 5.14, 5.14B, 5.14C, or 5.14D? They have that crazy difficulty rating on different pitches.
This is Nate, right?
This is
I think it's
Yep.
Nate. Yeah. So dyno was what difficulty?
I'm gonna say 5.14C.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go with D.
5.14D.
Mm-hmm.
The pitch was the dyno. It was rated 5.14B. Gone forever.
Gone forever.
Woo!
Damn.
Brent's up 3-2-2 with 2 questions to go. Tommy upgraded and married another woman. He has a type, small face blondes.
Yep.
And he had a baby with her named Fitz. It showed a little montage of Fitz doing workouts with Tommy. How many pull-ups did little Fitz do?
I think his name is Fritz.
No, if it's Fritz, we have to restart the episode because I have a lot to say. Is it Fritz?
I'm pretty sure it's Fritz.
No, the couple have a son, Fitz, and a daughter, Ingrid, not Fritz.
I thought he was saying Fritz.
Oh, no. God, I would have lost my mind. No, it's Fitz. Either way, did he do 3 pull-ups, 4 pull-ups, 5 pull-ups, or 6? With the help of Tommy, obviously. How many pull-ups did little Fitz do?
Okay, so I thought he did 10. So
Okay.
I'm going to say 6.
Okay.
I'm gonna guess 4.
Fitz did 5.
Gone forever.
Nate's streak is over. Brent has officially won the quiz. We have one question left. Might as well do it for funsies.
Oh my God.
Much like you guys, Kevin failed over and over to do pitch 15.
Oh my God. Hurtful.
I know. But when he finally did it, he was very excited. So was Tommy. What color jacket was Tommy wearing when Kevin did pitch 15? Was he wearing a blue jacket, a neon green jacket, a red jacket, or a yellow jacket?
Neon green.
Okay.
I was going to say that too.
Well, we might as well keep going and make that noise. These both fell again. He was wearing a blue one.
Gone forever.
Damn, Brent. You really climbed our cliff.
You just stood on our summit, bro.
Yeah. You guys are just another statistic that El Capitan claimed.
Yeah.
And I made it. You guys couldn't even make your asses up to Wino Tower. Losers.
Yep. Change that number to 33.
Yep. Just claim 2 more. That's good, Nate.
I'm going to make a quiz and I'm going to make it so hard that I win.
Yeah.
I'm just going to make it impossible to answer correctly.
I fucking dare you, dude.
Yeah, try it. See what happens.
And then cut to the guy. He's like, when I heard her say that, I didn't think she could make a quiz that was that hard.
And then she got the first 2 right, and I was like, no, maybe this kid does have a chance.
Yeah, they just might be able to do this thing.
And then she lost a hand.
Do you guys want to give the Don Wall some ratings? No, medals.
Hell yes.
My bronze medal goes to Kevin. Kevin was a associate character that really brought the this movie has so much good stuff to it, and the partnership between him and Tommy was really cool. It's very interesting to watch, and I liked him. I think he's a good dude, so Kevin gets my bronze medal. That's a horrible speech.
No, it's good.
How do you give medals in a fucking documentary?
I know. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. My bronze medal is going to Rebecca Peich. I don't know how to pronounce that. She's a photographer. She's Tommy's wife. Currently lives in Estes Park, Colorado. 2 kids, Fitz and Ingrid. She has to have a lot of patience to put up with your husband being known as the person who was so heartbroken that he climbed an impossible mountain. That would bother me. I'm not strong enough to, if you know what I mean. Do you know what I mean? That's weird.
Yeah.
And she's very patient to put up with all that gear and him obsessing over a fucking flat rock. Good honor.
I'm going to give my bronze to Tommy's dad. I don't know what his name is, but
Mr. Caldwell.
Yeah, Mr. Caldwell. He was, talk about being yoked. That guy he went Super Saiyan when he was a young man. Big muscles,
bigger heart.
Bigger heart. It was nice to see a non-toxic macho man.
For sure.
So we're bronze medal.
Silver medal. My silver medal goes to El Cap herself. She gets my silver medal because what a beauty. What a strong,
powerful,
beauty.
Elegant.
Yes. Also, there's something really beautiful about the permanence of nature, even though it's not permanent too. So even though she's a rock, she's still like a living thing. You know what I mean? Like, she'll crack open when water gets in her, and like, you know how create more cracks for penises and fingers and feet.
Yeah.
Anyway, she gets my silver. It was a joy to look at her, and I remembered seeing her in person, and I'm very impressed by her or him.
No, I liked how to me, it didn't have a gender, but now it is a woman.
She's beautiful,
gorgeous woman,
majestic. Majestic mountains.
Guys are always trying to get on top of her.
Yep.
That's right. Trying to get inside her
Well,
with their fingers and penises.
penises and feet. I want some of that chalk. I want some of that chalk.
Just for around the house.
You'd have a lot to clean up.
Eddie gets in there and just shakes the fucking bag all over the goddamn house.
Like, yeah, that's what it's like being married to a mountain climber, though, babe. My silver medal goes to Mr. KJ, Kevin Jorgeson, who he's a boulderer, and he hitched his wagon to unstoppable force that is Mr. Tommy Caldwell. And not to diminish anything that Kevin did, I think Kevin did a lot, if not better than Tommy. Tommy couldn't do the jump. Kevin did. And he never he was cutting his fingers, and good for him.
Yeah, I'm agreeing. I'm going to give my silver to Kevin as well. I don't think Tommy would have been able to do it without Kevin. And that's why it was so nice when he went back for Kevin, because it took them like 6 years to like figure out how to do that, hanging out with each other all the time. That's a bro. That's a bro.
Yep.
That's a bud.
Gold medals.
Gold medals. I think we might have a Taylor sister turkey sandwich trifecta because I'm choosing Tommy.
Tommy.
Waited all episode to do it.
Yeah, I'm with you, Kate. Tommy's the champ. The smile, the goofiness. How at the beginning of the movie they're like, everyone thought he had a learning disability, and even he's like, yeah, everyone thought I was an idiot.
let's just go quickly over his timeline in this movie. He went to an amateur competition, won. It was so impressive. They asked him to be in the professional one. He dusted them, only one to finish the mountain. He pushed a man off a mountain that was kidnapped them in a foreign country. He chopped his finger off, building a house for his wife, who then left him. He became so heartbroken. He obsessed about climbing El Capitan and made up his own route to climb the part that no one in the world could climb, and then lost his voice on a Good Morning America gold medal.
Well, he's not talking, right? Like, he has such a silent job. Like, he probably was talking more than he's ever talked in his life.
He did all his talking on the mountain.
Yeah, you let those fingers talk, right?
Yeah.
These photos of him, I was looking at photos of him. That mountain is literally just like vertical rock.
It's crazy.
Like, it's crazy.
The notches they were using to get over 15, like the littlest nubs, it was crazy.
I don't know how you keep your body. You have to have so much internal body control, like not just your arms and legs, but like all of your inertia has to be because if you just like breathe too heavy, you like push. I could never do it because I've got boobs. I could never get close enough to the wall, and I would just topple over backwards.
Us playing Kate, that's funny. I feel like one of us would shit ourselves a lot too, because you got to flex everything when you're up there.
Yeah.
All right, let's give, on that note, let's give this film some ratings.
How about that screenplay?
Yeah, it's gonna be so fucked to rate documentaries, but we'll have to. We press on.
Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll replace script with story. If it's a documentary, we'll say story. So if somebody told you this story, what would you rate this story out of 10?
I would give it a fucking 10 because it's unbelievable.
You can't write this shit. And even if you did write this shit, people would be like, whoa, let's break this up into a series of 3 films because this is too much for one movie. 10.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's one of the craziest stories I've ever heard in my life, by far. Like, and that was such a delight during watching it to be like, I kind of thought we were going to get into a movie about how hard it is to climb. And then we went on an adventure that included Kyrgyzstan. So yeah, that's a 10. That's a 10.
I brought your asses up and down a mountain, crossed the globe, infidelity.
Yeah.
Missing body parts.
Father and son stuff, Frodo and Sam stuff. Like, yeah, this had it all.
Yeah.
Epic.
So, and art direction doesn't really count in this either. So we'll say the cinematography, feel, look, style of the documentary.
Yeah, how pleasing to the eye was it?
How'd they put it together? And they got insane shots in this movie. I couldn't figure out how they were doing it. I was like, they must be recreating this. And then I realized what they did was they hooked up ropes at the top of the mountain and the cameraman rappelled down and filmed them from above and stuff, like hanging on ropes.
That's wild.
That's fucking crazy. And they only show one shot later in the movie where you see a cameraman like hanging on some ropes above him. I was like, that's how they did it. Holy shit.
Can you imagine? I would be crapping. I wouldn't even know how to breathe. Like, that is terrifying. I can't even imagine.
So I'm going to give, for the rappelling cameraman, 10.
10. Yeah, 10.
10 for sure.
Here's where things are going to really fall apart for Tommy and the boys. The music in this documentary. What did you guys think of the music in this documentary?
Well,
yeah.
Big whiff.
Big whiff.
A lot of songs about mountains that they could have done.
They didn't play Like a Rock. They didn't do anything.
Like a rock.
And when Night Moves by Bob Seger, when they're climbing in the night, that would have killed.
Like, come on.
Sentimental moments. Ain't no mountain high enough. I mean, they had the world was their oyster and they whiffed. 7.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going even lower. I'm saying 6.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I'll go 7.
When Beth showed up at the mountain with her new husband, she's a bitch, she's a lover, she's a child.
That's not the song. It's not an accusatory song.
No,
it's a song.
you're right. I'm a bitch.
She's a bitch.
We have fun with mountain movies. Yeah, what do you give it, Kate?
She gave it a 7.
Oh, good job.
This is a documentary film. That's all it is. It's just a documentary film. We're not adding any other adjectives.
No, I don't like that. There's so much more to say about it than that.
It's an adventure documentary film.
8.
Oh my gosh, really?
Well, they're saying it's a documentary film. That would make you. This is the movie that you don't watch because it just seems boring. And if you read the description as a documentary film, they shoot themselves in the foot. It should say a disabled, war-vetted, fucking heartbroken man.
that genre.
Where
one
disabled
finger.
war veteran?
Yeah.
When did he go to war?
Well, he threw a fucking terrorist off a mountain. That's more than fucking.
I'm giving it a 10. I'm giving it.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
This is a great documentary.
I thought it was one of the best documentaries I've ever seen. One of the most interesting documentaries I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's my favorite documentary of all time. So for rating it, just says documentary film. It's a 10. 10.
Yeah.
10.
Okay.
I give it a 10 too.
Okay. Yeah. And this category is a little bit more up for interpretation, but I guess what we'll say is you have a friend that likes documentaries. Out of how much are you going to recommend this to a documentary fan who's never seen or heard of the Dawn Wall?
Yeah, well, we just lived it. 10.
Yeah, 10. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I would recommend this movie to literally anybody. Even if you're like, oh, I'm scared of heights. I'm really scared of heights, and this was great.
So am I.
Yeah, this was great.
You'll still be scared of heights after you watch it, but
shout out to you guys know Scott, especially Nate. You know Scott. He said that one could say the biggest thing he climbed out of was despair after being heartbroken.
Wow, Scott, time to start a new career as a poet.
Yeah, I had to give credit.
I don't need to break out the calculator for this one. It's very easy to add up. It's 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 6.6. This movie gets a 46.6.
ooh, nice. Very good.
Just imagine if they had even one good song. It would have been they would have knocked this one out of the park.
We could have had a perfect score. Just one good song. You're right.
But great pick, Brent. Great pick.
Thank you. Thank
Yes, so good, Brent. Like, really.
you. I know. And I really hope people take the time and go watch it because it's really that good.
I watched it free on Tubi.
That's insane that there's such a thing called Tubi.
I guess we better pick a new movie then.
Yeah, who's going?
Who's doing it?
I'm ready. Yeah.
Are you? You should go.
I'm glad Brent clarified that it's documentaries and mockumentaries because I wasn't sure after the recording last time. I was like, did he say mockumentaries? I thought he did because I had an instant. I knew exactly what I was going to pick if mockumentaries were involved. It's one of my favorite movies ever made. I'd put this one top 10 of movies that I love. It is a 2003 comedy mockumentary. It stars Eugene Levy, Catherine O'Hara, Michael McKean, Christopher Guest, Harry Shearer, Bob Balaban, and a huge cast of characters. I'm choosing a movie called A Mighty Wind. A Mighty Wind.
Never even heard of it.
I have heard of it. I saw it in the theater until a man started masturbating next to me, so I had to leave with my best friend Kay.
Jesus.
What kind of life do you live?
Just some Tommy Caldwell shit.
We've literally learned this episode you lived in California and some guy jerked off next to you at the movies. If that happened to me, I would every episode when they say what's new, I would talk about, well, it's not like the day the guy jerked off in the movies next to me, but
yeah, we told on him, and then
Good.
then one of the high school
Poor kid.
kids that worked there. This was like in the afternoon too. He like chased after him with a broom.
You got to do what you got to do.
yeah.
It was weird because there was hardly anyone in the theater, and I love Christopher Guest movies. So like Kay and I drove from Festus to the south to up into the city, and like it was having a day of it. And then we sat down, and then this guy walks in, and he wasn't very old, and the whole theater was open, but he sat right next to me on my left.
Motherfucker.
And then I was like, maybe he's just like kind of disabled or something. I don't know. And then not very long into the movie, I look and he has his dick out and I was like, oh my God. And I got Kay and I told her to look. I said, look. And then we got up and ran out.
This is why we can't have the ability to grab things with it like you talked about earlier, because he'd be going for your popcorn with it and all that. Exactly why.
Disgusting.
Well,
Disgusting. Anyway, so I'm excited to revisit it. I'm excited to revisit it with safe men.
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess all that's left to do is say goodnight. Kate?
Good night, Kate.
good night, Kate.
Finally, in the news tonight, the music world mourns the death of folk music icon Irving Steinblum. Steinblum managed the careers of the Main Street Singers, the Folksmen, and Mitch and Mickey.
The only fitting tribute that we could come up with was a memorial concert.
I'd like to think that Mitch would agree to do this, because I already said yes.
We are so excited to be part of this project.
Oh, absolutely. It's something of a challenge for me because I don't like folk music.
Me too.
Quick plug, Ola. I'm Mike LaFontaine, owner and founder of High Class Management. Whoops!
I had a hit that you might have heard of, Hurrelegget Lille Gommen, which means how's it hanging, Grandma?
Those are lights hanging up there?
Yes, those are lights.
Could they fall?
And that's a ceiling above us.
Excuse me, I must be full.
It's like that wire. I see a wire. I see it. Ow!
Some mighty winds are blowing across the land and across the sea. It's blowing peace and freedom.
I feel ready for a voyage on this magnificent vessel.
I love Mitch.
What if we see sailfish?
But
one time I got on the top of my house and I got pregnant that night. That was like, to me, that's a true story.